Hello, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at Morpeko. And before we start, I can give you a little bit of a spoiler. This is now most likely my favorite Pokemon to play for PvP. Honestly, it is so much fun. You can't believe on how much fun this Pokemon is. If you have not got this one, of course, most people don't even have the event yet. Here in Europe, you have a little bit of an advantage in terms of getting stuff a bit earlier. Of course, if you live in New Zealand, you laugh about Europe. But anyway, today we're gonna take a look at the new Morpeko. I went outside immediately to get this Pokemon, and honestly, I did not really have any kind of hopes or expectations for this Pokemon. And I was so wrong with what I was thinking about this thing. I was like, oh, it's going to be like another squishy Pokemon that doesn't really have any play, that cannot really do anything. It's just more of a gimmick. It's just a bit of a meme. It is absolutely not. It is so much fun to play. It is so versatile to play. It is such a strong Pokemon to use. I would really recommend you to try to get one. Get like especially a few of them to trade with like friends with like low level friendship level, because you can only get it from those currently research encounters. I think win 2 raids is a quest that you have to do for this one, but look at the damage already. This is resisted Aura Reel against a very bulky Guzzlord and nearly 2-shotting them already, and with the attack boost we guarantee a 2-shot for the next one. Here I went straight for the move, by the way. This was a little bit of a mistake from me, which I don't think really mattered, because yes, you are a bit squishy, so fast moves that do a lot of fast move pressure are going to be a bit tricky for you here as well, and we're going to lose the first battle, but there's going to be so many good wins to come. Here's one thing with this Pokemon. It is so insanely good in general that you have coverage for 3 different types. This is the only Pokemon that really can have this one in terms of charge move coverage. Of course, if you have like a different fast move, a different charge move, and another different charge move, you have also 3 kind of coverage. Here, for example, Ariados has 3 different kind of coverage moves there as well, with Poison Thing being Poison, the Lunge being Bug type, and the Trailblaze being Grass type. But you would not really consider it like as a Poison type attacker, because yeah, you do like 4 fast move damage with this one. But you have actually 3 different charge moves on Morpeko, which is definitely a very cool thing to have, I have to say, because for example, if you think about it, this Pokemon on paper would get completely walled by something like a Kotsai. You might think, oh yeah, Psychic Fangs is not stab, it's not really a hard-hitting move, can just debuff the opponent, but like, what are you going to do to really do damage against them? But as you're going to see here, every single time you go for a charge move on Morpeko, the form changes here, and with this, also our wheel's typing is changing. And so basically, what you can do in a neutral scenario against Kotsai is you can go for the Psychic Fangs first, drop the opponent's defense while getting a little bit of damage, and then you can go for the Aura Reel afterwards, which is all of a sudden a dark type move, being stab, being able to erase your attack, and doing a tremendous amount of damage. I think I'm most likely going to be enough to actually knock them out there after the Psychic Fangs damage and Psychic Fangs debuff, to knock them out after 1 Psychic Fangs and 1 Aura Reel with this Pokemon, and just showcase again on how strong this thing actually can be. I have to say, a lot of people here tried to use their Halloween Cup team, which I didn't really ask for, which is totally fine though, like, don't get me wrong, it's totally fine. But basically this is going to make this stuff a little bit maybe even more difficult sometimes. I see a lot of Guzzlords here against us, which is basically the only hard answer to this Pokemon, which of course people also know that I'm going to run Morpeko here today, so like that's not really a secret. If I asked on Twitter for battles, because we currently don't have Great League available, of course, people are gonna expect the new Pokemon that just got released, and so like that is just kind of natural. But still, we were able to overcome a lot of the Guzzlords as well here, which was really cool. And just generally, I'm amazed about the damage that you can do with this Pokemon. I'm amazed about like the kind of versatility that you have with this thing. Having a great bait move that is giving you great coverage in terms of the Pokemon that you can hit. Like Poison type Pokemon is really important right now, but also Fighting type Pokemon if you think about it. Like there are a lot of decent Fighting type Pokemon like Machamp around right now that you would be able to now kind of counter, and it is just ridiculously cool. Here, sadly, we're going to encounter a complete hardwall team to our team. Like, there's not a lot that I can redo about this one. Like, Morpeko now against Mudslap Grimer is not going to work out for us, but still, we're going to be able to get 2 shields from the opponent, which is already showcasing again on how fast we are and how kind of versatile we are. We're sadly not going to be able to win here, but still a good game to the opponent. Anyway, literally, like, this Pokemon is one of my new favorite ones for sure, like literally for sure. I think you're going to see quite a lot of the more earlier on games here in the beginning as well. The more I played it, the more I liked it. I think it's kind of, Pokemon has kind of a high skill ceiling there as well, because it is quite important to kind of manage your form as well, because like if you're a dark type charge move there or if you have an electric type charge move, can completely shift around some different kind of battles. One thing as well about Morpeko is you don't actually have to run psychic things as well. There's also other great coverage that can come in clutch eventually as well. For example, Outrage on this Pokemon in order to deal something like a lot of damage basically against something like a Guslord, which would be kind of an interesting one. If you have like a meta where Dragon type Pokemon are very common, maybe just go ahead and go for Outrage on this Pokemon. Another one that's kind of interesting for it is Seed Bomb as well. Seed Bomb going to allow you to hit Pokemon like the Gastron if you ever want to use it as a safe swap. Here we're going to try to have it basically as a closer, and of course we're going to have a horrible matchup here in the back with the Marowak. Like we're going to get completely hardwalled there. Like what is Morpeko going to do here? By the way, this is the actual first battle that I did with this team, which is here based on the moveset that my Ariados still had from a different video I did earlier. I forgot to change it back. And all of the other ones have the moveset that you have on the right side, but here we have Cross Poison and Mega Horn, so this was the first battle that I did. But again, there are going to be a lot of really good wins coming up now in this video. So, Drapion and Lead here, we're going to see that we're going to be able to just go for a lunch, and eventually we kind of want to swap out because we have a Pokemon as a safe swap here, which is the Ninja, which is going to be able to resist all of the damage the opponent can go for. And so they're going to go for a charge move here, very likely going to be a Crunch. But I was expecting that they maybe want to go for the Awkward Heal just to get some damage in beforehand, but they decide to go up to a Crunch again, I think. While we get a free fast move in, Crunch is going to connect here, still does some decent damage, even though it's resisted and debuffed, but we can still go for a nice-ish here against the opponent. Also, by the way, if you enjoyed those really early showcases, completely forgot about that one, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, would really appreciate it. Both of them are going to be free for me, and again, also thanks so much for 80,000 subscribers at this point. Thanks so much, people. Like, honestly, I am so happy about all of this. That I can do like YouTube like I do right now is quite crazy for me. So thanks so much for allowing me to do this stuff. I really appreciate it. And yeah, again, if you want to support the channel, it is free by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Please do that. Anyway, moving back to the battles here, we're going to encounter Medicham with Psycho Cut. I want to say Psychic Fangs, but that is what we have here. And we're going to be able to knock them out while changing our form again to the Dark typing. Not ideal against the opponent's current Pokemon with Be Rare, but do we really care about it? No, we don't. We're going to have the Psychic Fangs coming back in again. We change our form. And also, one thing that is a bit annoying about this Pokemon maybe is that it takes quite a long time for it to change its form, which is just an interesting animation. And I am curious if it's actually going to also take time from the switch clock. I would assume so. I don't know if they're gonna pause the switch clock while the animation plays. Like, it's the only logical thing to do, to be fair, but it might actually be able to allow you to swap out a little bit faster. We can take a look at this one. Maybe you can also let me know in the comment section if you think that is the case, because I was not really able to figure this one out while doing the battles, but maybe if you're going to take a look at it a little bit closer now, if we have a scenario where still there's a Pokemon left and the switch clock is up, if it takes more time to go for an Aura Wheel or like a Psychic Fangs with an animation that's going to happen there, I don't know. We will find out here today anyway. We're going to have the Ariados against us. Ariados is going to be a little bit of an awkward position for us because our usually loses the CMP type. And in comes a Whimsicott. And I'm actually quite happy about it because if you think about it, my Pokemon in the back does not really appreciate Whimsicott. At this point, most likely Aura Wheel is going to one-shot them anyway because it just does ridiculous amounts of damage. Like, Aura Wheel is the strongest charge move in the game currently. Like, having 45 energy for I think 110 damage, plus having an attack boost guaranteed on top of it as well is ridiculous. Like, it is literally madness. But anyway, we're going to see the opponent here, gonna go into their Ariados. That is going to be okay. We can let the move go through. It's going to be a Cross Poison, which is kind of awkward for us, but they decide to go for another charge move here. If it's the lunch, I am forced to use a shield anyway, so I decided to not really risk it here. Cross Poison is coming through again. This time around, I can go for the Psychic Fangs CMP tie. We basically win CMP tie against nearly every single Pokemon in the current meta, by the way, so like there is not really any risk. The opponent goes for their own charge move. We will see here the shield coming through. It's going to be another Cross Poison, and again, we can try to go for the Psychic Fangs. I should have went for the Aura Wheel though. Why should I went for the Aura Wheel? Because it's going to give us a guaranteed attack buff, which might be better for the next matchup, which is going to be against Superior. But here we are forced to go for another charge move as well for the Psychic Fangs, dropping the opponent's defense, and now we're going to be back in the Dark type mode, and this is going to allow us now to CMP tie against the opponent, go for the Hery mode variant of Aura Wheel and one-shot that Superior. Like the combination of being able to debuff the opponent's defense or the bait and then boosting your own attack with the hardest hitting move there in the game kinda is ridiculous. Like honestly, this Pokemon is so much fun. Please get one of them. It is super important. There are, I think, some free quest ones as well that you can get, so like you don't have to do raids for them. But again, you can also use premium passes in the Go Battle League and you have a higher chance of getting this Pokemon. And I honestly might even consider doing this for the time moving forward. I just want to get a few more good ones of them because honestly, I have to say this Pokemon is worth it. This Pokemon is a lot of fun. It's a really good Pokemon to use and I really would like to get a good IV variant of it, which you of course have to trade with other people first for that one. But it is definitely one Pokemon that is like, I think the most exciting Pokemon I think we had in a year or something. I think the last like super exciting Pokemon was Annihilate, like in January, for me at least. And so it is really, really cool to see a Pokemon like this again. By the way, for Annihilate, I'm not too sure if I'm going to make an update video for it, maybe when the community day is a bit closer. But recently the Rage Fist got found in the code as well. And Rage Fist is going to apparently be a 35 energy move, which is ridiculous and makes Annihilate, especially Primeape though, insanely overpowered, which I feel like Niantic is going to change again, because I can't see them actually putting in a 35 energy Rage Fist, because basically means that everyone is going to run Annihilate and Primeape. But yeah, we have to see about this one. Just want to let you know that this actually exists. But yeah, maybe I'm gonna make another video towards this bull, taking a look and showcasing why it is so overpowered, but right now I don't really see the point of it, but maybe I'm gonna do it closer to the community day itself, because it looks like it's gonna be one of the most promising community days we ever had as well for PvP, so definitely stay tuned for this. Also, look at this, Azumarill is gonna go down after all of the Psychic Fangs nerfs against them. It was not enough for them to really survive those moves. Also, next opponent, we're going to have a very interesting Pokemon here in the lead. It's going to be the Ampharos. Ampharos, cool Pokemon. I really like Ampharos, to be fair. It's one of my kind of favorite Pokemon-ish, like in terms of just the design, just like the lore behind it. Like I just like the Johto games quite a bit from like the style of them. It's my kind of favorite kind of style of Pokemon games. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna get a remake or something for it eventually. Did you actually, like, for the people that actually also play the main CS games, did you all see all of the leaks towards Game Freak? It's kind of madness. I don't really want to go into detail here, but there's a lot of stuff leaked also towards, like, older games and stuff like this. Kind of interesting, but also kind of, yeah, not nice for them, I guess. Anyway, we're going to see here Greninja against us. Greninja also going to have now a costume for the Halloween event, which I'm definitely going to try to get a hundo for, because I really need this Pokemon as a hundo. I have one already, I think. Yeah, I do have a Greninja as a hundo, I think, but I really want the costume one, especially if I can get a shiny one. That would be amazing for me. Anyway, Greninja against Greninja here. We're going to be able to go for the Hydro Cannon. We're going to lose the CMP type, even though I have a little bit of an attack investment for us, but it's going to be okay. The opponent is going to have to take here the Hydro Cannon from us. Gonna be very low now, and we can even go for the full farm down, allowing us to even reach another charge move against its Sableye. We have a little bit of lag here afterwards, which you're gonna see as well. I would love to kind of swap out of here, but I cannot, and the opponent is going to be able to now go ahead and go and get a little bit of energy advantage here, which is not really ideal. But what we can do now is we can go for the change as well, for the shift change there, which is going to be totally okay, because we can use a shield dump that's going to guarantee that they cannot go for a return. We resist the foul play, and with this we're going to be able to go for the stab or reel to knock out the opponent's Sableye. And at this point, we're gonna be already at the final battle for the day. Thanks so much for everyone who actually also like basically invited me to battles. I really appreciate the battles here as well. It was a lot of fun to do them all. Definitely very, very cool. We're gonna see here the Ariados against us. Ariados is going to be a Pokemon that is a bit tricky for our backline for sure, as we have like a double weakness to the bug typing, which is usually a rare move to have, but here we have our own Ariados as well for it. But what we're going to try to do here is we're going to try to go for another lunge afterwards and try to maybe farm them down, get some energy for the Gustlord later on, and hope that there's a Pokemon in the back that we can deal with our Morpeko. But yeah, I'm forced to let the move go through here as well. Maybe I actually should have used the shield early on, just to make it even a bit easier for me in the matchup, because we're gonna debuff ourselves the entire time anyway. And if I plan on farming them down anyway, I should have most likely used the shield a little bit earlier on. I honestly don't think I have to even use the shield here, because I don't think it would have even knocked us out. But still, As we're gonna see here, we're gonna be able to go for the full farmland, have 2 charge moves stored for the opponent's Gustload, which is again a horrible Pokemon to deal with for our backline. As you guys see, the opponent stops back into the Gustload. I can go for a double Hydro Cannon. It is sadly not enough damage to really get them into the range where we can knock them out or anything. So it's a bit of a trickier one here, but Hydro Cannon is gonna connect again. We try our best. We're gonna let the move go through. At this point, we can go for a double lunge and hope that maybe we're gonna be able to beat that opponent's Fortress. And I make a bit of a mistake here, I think. I decided to go for a free fast move, which I feel like is kind of okay. I think the opponent didn't even get the damage fill, which is very lucky. But I sure went for one extra fast move here, which maybe even allowed us to still get to another lunge eventually. But the opponent's now debuffed. I am going to be able to at least still have my 1 Pokemon there in the bag. And maybe we can take a look now at the switch timer, and if it's gonna go down a little bit faster than usual if I go for a charge move with Morpeko. Let's find out here. We're gonna have the... Okay, we have a little bit of lag here as well. I guess that's not really telling too much as well. It does seem like, definitely does seem like that the animation takes some time from the switch look as well, like 2 extra seconds or something, making it even easier for you to maybe align yourself. Here the opponent kinda, I thought forfeit or something like this, but I guess their intent just went down because they can get to another move here afterwards. I tried to catch a move, didn't work out, and now they can go for the debuffed Earthquake, but sadly Morpeko is quite squishy, and this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Definitely get this Pokemon. Like, this Pokemon is amazing, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.